Okay, in this section 3-5, the topic is parallel and perpendicular. Now in this section we don't have anything new to learn, but the problems that we're going to be doing are going to be based on information that we've learned in previous lessons. Now here's what the directions are going to say for the type of problems we're going to be doing. It says tell if line A, B, and CD are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Now look what they give us in the problem. They give us 4 points, and they give us the coordinates of each one of those points. Alright, so we're trying to tell whether line AB, the line through these 2 points, and CD, the line through these 2 points, whether they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Well, how are we going to tell that information? Well, you could graph them, right, and then try to take a look and eyeball it. However, that's not exact. If it's off by a little bit, it's not parallel. And same thing with perpendicular. So that's not really an accurate way to do it. But remember what we learned last time. Parallel lines have the same slope, and perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So what we need to do is we need to find the slope of line AB, find the slope of line CD, and then compare them. If they're the same, the answer is parallel. If they're opposite reciprocals, the answer is perpendicular. And if they're neither one, the answer would be neither. Alright, so let's go through and see how it would work. Well, I need to find the slope. So remember, I've got 2 points. So remember, the formula is change in y over change in x. So what do my y's go to? It goes from 3 to -7. Alright, so that's down by 10. And my change in x goes from 0 to 5. 0 to 5 is going to be up by 5. And so the change in y is down by 10. The change in x is up by 5. If we divide that out, this one will have a slope of -2. Alright, let's do the slope of line CD. By the same process, m is equal to, alright, so the change in y from 7 to -1, that's down by 8. 7 to -1 is down by 8. Alright, then I need the change in x on the bottom of the fraction, -6 to -2. -6 to -2 is actually going up, alright, and it's going up by 4. Now remember, if you're having trouble determining whether it's going up or down, think about it like temperature. If it's -6 degrees and it goes to -2 degrees, is it getting warmer or colder? Alright, it's getting warmer. Okay, so that's one way to think about it, and that will help you to be able to determine whether it's going up or down. Okay, let's finish dividing this out. Negative divided by a positive is negative. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So the slope of line AB is -2. The slope of line CD is -2. They have the same slope, and so since they have the same slope, then we know that the lines are parallel. So parallel is the correct answer here. These 2 lines have to be parallel because the slopes are the same. And that's how we would go about answering these questions. What about the next one? I need to find the slope of AB. Let's try that. Alright, so change in y goes on top of the fraction. And so my y goes from 4 to -5. That's going down by 9. And remember what we said as a shortcut that you can use if you're having trouble figuring out whether it's going up or down. Or excuse me, not up or down, but figuring out the change, is if the signs are different, add the numbers. 4 plus 5 makes 9. If the signs are the same, you would subtract the numbers and tell what the change is. And then just keep your sign. The sign would be dependent upon whether it's going up or down. If it's up, positive, down, negative. But again, if you're having trouble figuring out how much it changes by, if the signs are different, add the numbers. 4 plus 5 makes 9. If the signs are the same, subtract the numbers. Then you can get the difference that way, the change that way. Alright, let's go to the bottom of the fraction now. I'm doing change in x from -1 to 2. -1 to 2 is going up, and that's up by 3. And now we can divide this thing out and get -3. Alright, we want to compare that now with the other one, which is line CD. So I want to find the slope again. Go ahead and write out my fraction. The top number is the change in y from 2 to 0. That's going down by 2. And from -3 to +3 is going up by 6. Let's reduce this down. Negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 2 over 6 reduces to 1/3. Alright, so the slope of AB is -3. The slope of CD is -1/3. Are they parallel? No, because the slopes are not the same. Well, are they perpendicular? Well, are these slopes opposite reciprocals? They may be reciprocals because 3 over 1 flips to 1 over 3. However, they are not opposite. They are the same sign. They're both negative. Remember, opposite reciprocal means different signs and flipped fraction. If the different signs part is not there, then you can't say it's perpendicular. So the answer to this one is neither. All right, neither. So the opposite and the reciprocal has to be there in order for it to be perpendicular. So make sure that you are aware of that, and then you are checking for that before you answer. All right, a couple of more that we can look at here. So on this next one, I'm trying to find the slope of AB. So the slope equals, and so I need change in y, -8 to -6. That's actually going up by 2. And so remember what we said, the signs are the same. You could subtract the numbers. 8 minus 6 is 2. And it's going up, so it's a positive 2. Okay? So remember, if the signs are the same, subtract the numbers. If the signs are different, add the numbers, like they are on the change in x. From -4 to 4, the signs are different. Add the numbers. 4 plus 4 makes 8. From -4 to +4 is going up by 8. So that's a positive 8. All right? Now, we can reduce this down and make this 1 over 4. All right, so the slope of line AB in this case now is 1 over 4. I need to get the slope of the other one, and then we can compare it and see what the answer would be. So the slope now of line CD, the change in y goes on top. 5 to -3, that's going down. That's the first thing we should notice. And 5 to -3, it's going down by 8. Once again, the signs are different. Add the numbers. 5 plus 3 makes 8. If you're having trouble seeing it, you can use that strategy. Now, what about the change in y on the bottom here? We're looking at, it starts at -3 and it goes to -1. I would say that's going up. And it's actually going up by 2. All right, so I got a positive 2 on the bottom. And so to finish it out, negative divided by a positive is a negative, and then 8 divided by 2 is going to make 4. All right, let's compare. Okay, they're obviously not going to be perpendicular. 1/4 and -4 are not the same, but are they opposite reciprocals? Well, they are opposite. This one is positive, this one is negative, so we got the opposite part, but do we have reciprocal? Well, 1 over 4 flips to 4 over 1. And 4 divided by 1 is just 4. So we actually do have opposite reciprocals here. And so that should tell you that your answer is going to be perpendicular. All right, so perpendicular is the correct answer. All right, so hopefully now at this point we're kind of getting the hang of what's happening here. You need to find the slope of each one of those lines based on the points that they've given you, and then compare. Remember, parallel lines, same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. Change the sign and flip the fraction. And if it's not either one of those, then you're going to put neither. All right, let's try the last practice problem here. So I've got the slope of AB that I'm going to be looking for here. And so the change in y, so the y goes from -2 to 4. It goes from -2 to 4. And so that's going up. And how much is it going up by? It's going up by 6. If you're having trouble, signs are different. 2 plus 4. Add the numbers. 6. All right, so on the change in x, it's going from -5 to +5. That's also going up, and it's going up by 10. Signs are different. 5 plus 5 makes 10. All right, we can reduce this fraction down to 3 over 5. Now, let me stop and say this about these types of problems. It is important that you reduce the fractions down or divide them out if they can be, because that can help you recognize if they're the same or opposite reciprocals. So like if we did this one and left it like this, 6 over 10, and did the other one and got 3 over 5, if you're not looking carefully, you might say, oh, 6 over 10, 3 over 5, those are not the same, so it's neither. All right, when actuality, 6 over 10 and 3 over 5 is the same fraction. We need to reduce this down to see that. So when you're doing slope, make sure you reduce it all the way down to lowest terms or divide it out if it can be, either one. All right, let's do the other one, CD. Let's see what we'll come up with. We got the slope is equal to, now the change in y goes on top. Don't get that mixed up. We discussed that last time. From 6 to -4, it's going down. Anything going down, we're going to put a minus. And it's actually going down by 10. The signs are different. I'm going to add 6 plus 4 makes 10. And remember, think about it on a number line. Like from 6 to 0, that's 6 spaces, and from 0 to get down to -4, that's another 4 spaces, so 6 plus 4 is what you've got to add together to get the full change. It's a change of 10, down by 10, -10. All right, let's go change in x now on the bottom. -3 to +3, that's going to be up by 6, and so when I divide this thing out, it's going to be -5 over 3. I take a look at these. They are not congruent, or excuse me, they're not the same, so it's not parallel. They are opposite and they are reciprocal. 3 over 5 flips to 5 over 3, and so that means my answer for this one is going to be perpendicular. All right, so once again, just to kind of recap, what you will do is you will go through and you will use the change formula to find the slope. You can use the longer formula if you like that we had looked at in the other lesson, but you'll find the slope of line AB. You'll find the slope of line CD. Once you find the two of them, you will compare them. If the slopes are the same, then it's parallel lines. If the slopes are opposite reciprocal, then the lines are perpendicular. And if it's neither one of those two, if it's not the same and it's not opposite reciprocal, then you know you will write neither. The answer would be neither. All right, so we'll take what we've learned now, and then you can utilize that to help you answer the questions on your quiz.